Okay, so I have a few things I want to talk about today because I have a list and I want to talk about them in one video so you're not watching a bunch of little things about irrelevant stuff. You can watch one big irrelevant blah rant. First I would like to talk about the show Young Justice, which came out a while ago. The episodes are still airing. They're only on episode 4 currently on Cartoon Network. I think it came out in July or June and then it had a really big hiatus. I don't really remember, but it's out now. It comes on, I think, every Friday at 7. And Young Justice is kind of, I guess if I would compare it to a show that people have seen, it's like Teen Titans. There are different characters. We have Robin, we all know. We have Kid Flash. We have Aqualad, Superboy, Martian Girl, Miss Martian, I think that's what she's called. I don't know because I don't really like her. And Artemis, who is basically Arrowette. I've watched the first 3 episodes. I'm going to be watching episode 4 after I watch this one. But I gotta say, so far, I kind of really like the show. I think it's fun. I think it's kind of returned to Cartoon Network actually being fun. It's like something that would have been on Toonami when, you know, my generation and other generations were growing up. So I feel like it has potential to be a really good show. I like that they're finally doing something with, you know, Superboy, who's a really interesting backstory, because if they stick to the way it is, well, whatever generation they might do with him, but if they stick to the current one, he is basically the clone child of Superman and Lex Luthor, which would be interesting if they actually do that in the show. They might not because of the whole gay thing that people can insinuate from it, but that's the comic book origin, so that might be actually a lot of fun. Robin is kind of weird to me. He's voiced by Justin McCartney, which doesn't really bother me that much. It's just kind of like meh. But I don't think that he should be, you know, Dick Grayson. When I look at him and hear him talk, he doesn't remind me of Dick Grayson. He really honestly reminds me of, like, you know, Tim. Or maybe even Jason before he gets killed and becomes the Red Hood. But he doesn't stand out to me as, you know, Dick Grayson. At least I felt like the Teen Titans Robin was more like Dick Grayson. This one seems more like Tim Drake. And I feel like they should have just stuck with Tim Drake being this Robin, because it's not like they're doing like an exact, you know, proper incarnation thingy. But they're not. They're just going to put, you know, him as Dick Grayson, because that's the one everyone really knows. So, you know, whatever. I don't really mind it, but I just feel like he doesn't fit character-wise what I feel Dick Grayson is like. Aqualad is interesting. He's obviously, you know, the token for right now. He is what Cyborg was for Teen Titans, but he seems like a very interesting character. You know, it's nice to see, like, the Aqua family, you know, finally, you know, seen as legitimate heroes, because, you know, in Justice League they actually made, you know, Aquaman badass, so it's like, oh my god, I now respect Aquaman, and now it looks like they're doing something with Aqualad. They haven't introduced Arrowette's character, who is Artemis in this incarnation. I don't know why they put her in there. They already have Speedy. I thought it would have been more interesting if they had, like, Wonder Girl, or something like that to kind of balance out the whole Superboy aspect of it, but what are you gonna do? Kid Flash is Kid Flash. He's amazing. He's funny. He's hilarious. He's basically, you know, he has the same personality as the Flash that we're used to, so it's fun. The only character I don't like is Miss Martian, and I don't care. People are like, she's so cute. She's annoying. She's annoying, and I don't like her, and I really don't care. And I know she's gonna end up with Superboy, which is gonna piss me off because I'm like, ew, please God no. But I know it's gonna happen because he apologized to her in one episode, and it's like that's the seeds of it all happening. That's how it starts. That's how it starts. But I do not want it, and I would like to make that very clear that when that happens, I'm gonna be like, because it's stupid. And I also think it's totally hilarious how they always bring in someone's sibling. It's like, you know, I am the last child of a dying race. Boom, I have a cousin. Boom, I have a niece. You know, you're supposed to be like, there are none of you left. So why do you have a sibling? Why do you have some weird family member that somehow made it off that same rock as you at the exact same time? That's one thing that I never understood about Supergirl. Like, so how are you from Krypton and you're an adult? Like, what were you flying around there for like 18 years and just now you just reached Earth? Like, what are you talking about? The whole thing just always makes me go like, what are you doing? I thought he was the last son of Krypton. He can't be the last son of Krypton if there's a chick. And then, but she's annoying, and I know she's supposed to be like the Starfire of the group. Starfire, while she was sometimes annoying, she at least had a charm to her. Miss Martian, she doesn't charm me. She's just kind of dull. I don't really like her. So I want her to go away. But I think it's a fun thing to check out, so check out Young Justice. If you like Teen Titans, if you like Justice League, here's what we got now. So, for those of you who are interested in The Dark Knight Rises, which is going to be coming out 2012, they cast Anne Hathaway as Selena Kyle, and they cast Tom Hardy as Bane. And people have been complaining about Bane because he's supposed to be Latino, but actually, you know, he's half British, half Latino, and you can be a white Latino, which some people don't recognize, that not all Latinos are brown. There are many different shades of Hispanic, because Hispanic is not, you know, one generalized thing. I mean, look at Christina Aguilera, and then look at, you know, Jessica Alba. It's a very kind of melting pot. It's not just one color. So while I do understand why they would want a Latino actor, some of their complaints don't really mesh with what they're talking about. And he's also, you know, part British, so he's half white anyway. But, you know, I understand the complaints about that anyway. But my whole thing is with Anne Hathaway. Because what pisses me off is how people will always bring up Heath Ledger when there's bad casting or controversial casting. Like, I'm not saying that Anne Hathaway can't just surprise us and be, like, amazing in this role. I'm just saying nothing she has done thus far that I've seen her in has made me believe that she's a good actress. That she is a good actress enough to kind of step in the toes of people who've played Catwoman before. Like Michelle Pfeiffer, Eartha Kitt, you know, Julie Newmar, you know, the legit Catwomans who've been her part. I don't see anything about her that makes me think that she can be that kind of seductive, you know, kind of character. And people keep saying, well, Heath Ledger knows that he was going to be the Joker. Listen, Heath Ledger was always a qualified emotional actor before he played the Joker. The reason why it was controversial for his casting was because the last movie he did before he did The Dark Knight was Brokeback Mountain. Brokeback Mountain when he was a gay cowboy. That's why people were like, what are you doing? He's going to be a Joker. We don't want a gay cowboy Joker. That's why there was controversy, not because he was a bad actor. And he was qualified to play the Joker. I don't see Anne Hathaway as being qualified to play the Joker. And that's why I have questions about it. I'm sure people will debate me about it, saying that, you know, we believe in Nolan. I believe in Nolan. I do believe that he knows what he's doing. That does not mean that I always think his cast is going to be flawless. I can be proved wrong because I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it no matter what, so it doesn't really matter. They're still going to get money from me. I just don't think that she's a good Catwoman. Huckleberry Finn. People are talking about... I'm going to use the N-word in this video because it's just necessary to get to the point of saying the N-word, N-word, N-word. So, for Huckleberry Finn, one of the leading, you know, experts on the book is talking about taking the word nigger out of it for nigger Jim and putting slave Jim instead. Now, I do not agree with this. I really don't, because I feel for literary purposes it makes sense. And besides, it's one of those things where there are words that were used to basically describe, you know, African Americans, what we call them now, that were different before. Before there was African American, it was alright to say colored. Then it was alright to say Negro. And before that it was alright to say nigger. It was just saying what he was. And I don't think it's a derogatory term, but in the literary aspect of it, Jim is not a bad character. He is not treated like a stupid character. He is a protagonist as much as Huckleberry Finn is. And he is a good character. He's not like, you know, the villain or some kind of like caricature. He is a legitimate protagonist of the story, and calling him Nigger Jim is not calling him that to kind of belittle him. It is his title. That's who he is. That's how to describe him in the book. And I don't see it as something necessary to change. I don't see it as something that's necessary to have to rewrite the entire book and put Slave Jim in it, because it doesn't really fit. Slave Jim doesn't fit. Ernest Hemingway, there's a guy that's described as a nigger, a great nigger, whatever like that. And I'm like, I don't care. That's literature of the time. If you read something that takes place in a time where there was racism, you expect to hear those kind of things. That's how you interpret the culture through literature. It's a part of the entire, you know, process of analyzing a book and analyzing the time that it was written in. Those kind of terminologies. And to change that weakens the message and the literature in itself. So if people have a problem with it, they don't have to read it. And if you don't want your kids to know literary classic, that's your own business and you can fix it yourself. But do not rework a great piece of literature because you have problems with a word use. there is this great show. It's an E4 show. E4 is a British channel that it showed Skins. People probably already know about it because I'm late to this whole thing, but it's called Misfits. It is amazing. Even the introduction theme song is amazing. And I feel like everyone should just check it out. Because it's on YouTube. I've seen it already on YouTube. It's called Misfits. And it's 6 episodes this season. It's only 2 seasons out so far. The 3rd season is in filming. It's not coming out till November, which sucks so badly because it's amazing. It basically is a combination of Skins and Heroes, which sounds really weird, but it works so well. It's got this kind of like risque comedy and whatever, and it has a whole little Heroes aspect to it. There's like a electric thunderstorm, and these people get hit and they get these weird powers, and the powers are connected to like their own like, you know, personalities. There's one kid who can turn invisible. There's one who can read minds. There's one who can turn back time. There's one who basically, when people touch her skin, they become extremely lusty after her. Like they basically try to like rape her or whatever. It's like she turns into like basically walking ecstasy. And there's another character whose powers revealed later. They have one character who comes up in season 2 who he has lactokinesis. And I'm just going to leave it at that. There are so many interesting stories that came out of this. It's only 6 episodes, so you just get story. It's really fun, really enjoyable. I can almost guarantee that if you watch it, you will like it. It's very like, there's a lot of profanity and sexuality in it. So if you don't like that, maybe not for you. But if you're like, you don't give a shit about sex and cursing and whatever, if you watch this, I can almost guarantee you will like it. If I was a vampire, there were some people were talking about like how with all these kind of like, you know, romantic lit vampires and werewolves and angels and dragons and shit. Like, what would we be? Like, how would you be if you were, like, a vampire, a werewolf, or some kind of creature? And I'm just saying, the world is lucky. They will never need to know what I'd be like if I was a vampire. Because if I was a vampire, I would not be one of them True Blood Vampire Diaries vampires. Not me. Or I'm probably, nope, not me. I wouldn't, and I like their shows, and I wouldn't even be like them. I would be, you don't even know. I'd be Lestat. Like, you know, Interview with a Vampire Lestat. Like, I don't give a shit Lestat, because that's what a vampire is supposed to be like. Okay, it's not all this kind of blah blah blah, I'm so sad, I don't like my life, why is there... No, I would go around compelling and eating people and, you know, being all cool, wearing fun clothes, being immortal and shit. I'm not gonna be moping around feeling sorry for myself that I can't see everyone. Like, I'll be sad that, like, when my family dies and I won't see them, but they would die eventually anyway. So I'd be like, you know what? My family would want me to live it up if I was immortal. So I'm gonna live it up. So I would be that if I was a werewolf. If I was a vampire, I would live it up. If I was a werewolf, I don't really know. All I really do is turn into wolves and attack people. So I'd do that. If I was a dragon, flying around in the sky, chilling, and whatever, you know, keeping my treasure, eating princesses, you know, burning down villages and whatnot. I'd have fun. I wouldn't be angsty like these people. That's why I can't relate to these kind of things. Like, why? You're a dragon, you're a vampire, you're a werewolf, you're a witch. Live it up, man. I just went online after filming this, so I had to come and edit this in so I could let you guys know something. So, they picked the new Superman, and guess who it is? Okay, you ready for this? It's Henry Cavill. If you don't know who Henry Cavill is, he played Charles Brandon in The Tudors. And I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. I was just like, really? Him? I don't know how to feel about that, because he's gorgeous, but I don't really know if he can be Superman. You know, the whole British thing. I don't know. I don't know. I'm very happy for him, because, you know, he doesn't get shit anyway, like role-wise. He doesn't really have that much of a film career. And playing Superman is a very big step for him, so as a fangirl, I'm like, yay. But as a Superman fangirl, I'm like, well, I don't really know how to feel about this. So, question, what do you feel about this?